Alright, we're going. Welcome to Multimedia Clubcast. As you can see, it's Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Notice anything different about me?
Happy holidays.
Now you should be able to listen to the way my voice is echoing around the room like echolocation, like a bat, and determine that I'm wearing a Santa hat.
It's true.
So, yes, welcome to Christmas. That was a bad intro.
Yep. One of the things we have to say off the bat,
are we just going with
we're
that?
going with it.
Okay, all right.
You talked about echolocation and your hat.
Basically,
so
I'm wearing a Santa hat, and I don't know why I put it on. This is a podcast. Nobody knows. But, okay.
I know.
I think it'll help me get in the Christmas spirit.
Colin, I know.
He does.
There's a tree over here, as you can clearly hear.
Yes.
And then also, stockings.
Stockings, yes. This is a very Christmassy room right now. We're back at my house, actually.
It's true.
You can probably tell it probably sounds a little different. I don't know if it's better or worse. I'd have to compare the two, like acoustics-wise.
Or maybe you can't tell.
Maybe. Maybe if you're not a bat, like I am.
It's true.
But
First, off the bat, I am stuffy because we live in Minnesota and it gets cold.
Right.
And then I get stuffy. So, there's going to be a lot of and so be prepared.
Yeah, it's actually not that bad. Actually, I haven't gone outside today. Well, how's the weather like?
It's weather.
Yesterday, it was actually pretty nice. I mean, by pretty nice, I mean it was like in the 30s, but it was nicer than it usually is. A pretty mild day in Minnesota at this time of year
True.
is like 38, you know?
This is like the most mild winter we've had so far, though.
You think? We've had milder. There's actually snow on the ground. We've had like brown Christmases where there's no snow.
See, but I don't remember those.
I do, because I was so depressed every year that happens. And it's only happened a couple times in my lifetime, but... No, it's a white Christmas. It really is. And we've got a big snowstorm moving in this weekend, so...
I mean, it's still patchy, though.
It is still patchy.
It's crazy.
But by the time Christmas rolls around, there'll be snow.
Yeah, I've heard that this next upcoming week is supposed to be pretty blizzardy.
Yeah.
But over the past few years, you know, this is a lot tamer than what we usually get.
Yeah, fair enough. Minnesota's pretty harsh, in case you didn't know.
But that doesn't matter, because I'm still stuffy.
That's all, yeah. We're indoors, and we don't have any guests again, although that's probably going to change soon. Maybe not next week, but then week after, where we'll have a special guest on, I hope. And, so, I want to just jump right into,
Let's go.
Let's go music first, because again, there's a big thing to talk about with movies.
Yep.
So, let's do music first.
Yep.
So, song of the week you say should be Christmas themed.
Yes.
I've got one that's vaguely Christmas themed.
Do it.
Because it features a
Do it
line
now.
about giving someone a turtleneck as a present. And it's Turtleneck by The National. I know I said I wasn't going to do it last week, but I realized I want to, so I'm going to, because I've been listening to it on repeat nonstop today.
Good.
It was between this and another song, but as I learned last week, I'm not going to say the other song because I'll probably just pick it next week.
Are you telling me that out of all the Christmas sweater songs you could have picked, first of all, you didn't even consider Grandma's Christmas Shirt by the Pimps?
You know what? I just realized something. No, it's not Grandma's Christmas Shirt by the Pimps. God damn it. Hold on. Let's just do this whole thing over. I want to do a different song.
Okay.
Should we edit this out?
We're not editing it out because I still want them to realize that Grandma's Christmas Shirt by the Pimps is a song everyone should be listening to.
Yeah. Okay. So, Turtleneck is a good song, but I'm not gonna play it right now because this is the second week in a row that Turtleneck by the National has gotten
honorable mentions,
Yeah.
but then kicked out.
Basically, it's always going to be my honorable mention song because it's like not quite good enough. But I have a perfect song. If I would have put 2 seconds of effort into this, I would have known. It's the and I forget what it's called, so I'm gonna Google it.
That's great.
Well, hold on. Well, it's okay. It's the Remo Drive Christmas Special song.
Called.
I'm looking that up right now. Looking under the tree. Sorry, this is my most flustered song of the week ever. Looking Under the Tree by Remo Drive, which is a Minnesota band, of course, and we haven't featured a Remo Drive song yet. It starts with a spoken word opening by the lead singer, and it's very funny.
Sammy, stop it.
My cat's here.
Your cat's playing with your ball on the end of your hat. It's great.
Yeah, no, Sam Lake's playing with... What are you doing?
Oh, no.
Oh, he's adorable. But no, Looking Under the Tree, Remo Drive Holiday Special. It's not on Spotify. It is on YouTube. Take a listen.
I was looking at my stocking. Nothing but the coal that he got me. I got nothing from St. Craig. Yeah, I got nothing. Oh, 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 oh. Santa baby, do you hate me? Oh, 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 oh. I've been behaved so well lately. Oh, 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 oh. Santa baby, do you hate me?
So, yeah, that's like my current favorite Christmas song. In fact, it's been like stuck in my head ever since we've gotten into the Christmas season. Have you heard this one?
No, I don't believe I have.
You should check it out. It's a Minnesotan emo punk Christmas song, and it's very tongue-in-cheek, very funny. It's kind of a comedy song.
I can dig it.
It's very, very nice. And yeah, that's my pick for the week.
I'll give it a little listen right after this.
Yeah, fair enough.
My song of the week is Blues Travelers. I believe it's called Christmas Time. Let me just double check that to be sure. Give it a listen.
Been waiting here all day, and one just hasn't come my way. Now, excuse me if I'm not being reverent, but I was hoping for a miracle to hold me, wash me, save me from a righteous doubt as I watch helpless, and everybody sings if it's Hanukkah or Kwanzaa, solstice, harvest, or December 25th, peace on earth to everyone, and abundance to everyone.
I like Blues Traveler.
I do too. No, they're very good. I love this song. I think it's great. You got awesome vocal harmonies at the very end, and it all just comes together. And then all of a sudden, you're like, "Hark the Herald Angels Sing!" Woo! And it's a good time.
I really like Blues Traveler's vocals.
Yeah, that guy can sing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, well, that's that. It really okay.
Just kidding. It's called Christmas. Just Christmas.
Oh, okay.
Bam.
Perfect.
Nailed it.
This is the worst.
It is.
I know. Every episode we hit new lows. This is definitely a new low. But at least we're themed, and this is the Christmas episode.
It's true.
And I dressed up for it, even though I also haven't showered in days, and I'm wearing pajama pants. But I dressed up for it. I put a hat on.
I got a cat on me.
Yes, he does. Sam is our special guest this episode.
Our Christmas cat.
At least Sam won't pee on you.
It's true.
Sam doesn't.
Sam doesn't pee.
We've had like 2 episodes in a row where Josh has gotten peed on by his cat at his house. See, Sam's a good boy. He don't do that.
Just you wait. This will be the day.
Yeah, this is the day.
But yeah, honorable mentions. All Dean Martin Christmas songs.
Yes, and Turtleneck by the National.
And Turtleneck by the National.
Yeah.
Because Dean Martin gets me.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So.
Anything else music related we got? Have you been listening to anything?
Yes. There's a Japanese group called It's like Masana, like looks like Madonna but with an S.
Okay.
I'm gonna play an excerpt of one of their songs here, in a couple seconds when I pull it up. There it is. Have you heard of this group?
No.
I can't imagine you would have, because the top hit has like 7,000 plays. Here, I'm just gonna make sure my volume is all the way up, and I'm gonna take a listen. So that's a little excerpt from Masana. It is a Discord already knows about this. Movie Club folks already know about this. It is a noise. It's one guy. He's a noise artist or something, and it's just noise. It's just insane screaming static noise, and it's not music.
Good.
It is quite possibly the strangest thing I have ever heard. Like, I know about experimental groups, but this is bizarre.
I mean, I've heard of people doing stuff like this. I actually met a guy who makes this kind of stuff.
Really?
Yes, actually. That's all I have to say about that. Like, it's not anything interesting or good, typically.
Yeah.
Because it's just noise.
Oh, here, let's get to my favorite one.
But how did... How did you find this?
Actually, a friend of ours, Robert, sent it to me. So, yeah, shout out to him. It's a Japanese guy, and this album came out in 97.
Good.
Yeah. Nothing to say about it. It's just, I found a weird artist.
You found a weird thing.
Yeah,
Cool.
I found a really weird thing. Do you have anything else to... See, I'm very music light at the moment. I haven't been talking about music as much as I have movies recently.
I gotcha. I've been listening to Tool's album Undertow.
Cool.
It's pretty good. I like it. If you like Tool, give it a shot. It's good.
Yeah.
Weird thing, I have the album in my car, and I was listening to it. I was listening to track 9, and then it skipped to track 10 afterwards, like it does. And then it just kept going. So it went track 9, listened to it, finished it, track 10, track 11, track 12, track 13, track 14.
Okay.
And it does this until you hit track 69.
Is that what song I think it is?
Probably not.
Say the name of it.
Disgruntled or something like that.
Oh, okay.
Disgusted.
So they have a bunch of blank tracks on there, is what
They
you're
have a
saying.
bunch of tracks that are 0 seconds long.
Okay. And then their hidden track is at track 69.
It's not a hidden track because it's on the album as track 10, but track
Well,
10 doesn't exist until 69.
What do you mean it's not a hidden track, it's on the album?
Because it's on the album.
All hidden tracks are on the album.
Well, yeah, no, but it's on the back of the album. Like,
Well, yeah, I mean...
under the list, it has track 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, but track 10 doesn't exist on the album. Instead, it's at track 69.
Ah, okay. Fair enough. But that's kind of a hidden track, though, because, like, when
It's on the album.
No, I mean...
like, on the back.
Sometimes they're listed, like with Queens of the Stone Age, Mosquito Song, hidden song.
It doesn't say bonus track or anything.
What, Mosquito? Okay.
It's... I don't get it, man.
Tool's weird like
They
that.
are. I don't get it, but hey, man.
Yeah.
Oh, well. Okay. So
Yeah.
I listened to that.
Fair enough. You know what?
I still haven't listened to the track 69 because I can't get past the fact that it's on number 69, and it took 68 tracks that don't have anything for me to figure out what is wrong with my player. Oh, it's Tool just messing with me. Got it.
Yeah.
So I did that.
Yeah. So it's like 10's a blank track, and everything from 10 to 68 is blank tracks.
Yep.
And then 6. That's really weird. I didn't. What album is that, by the way?
Undertow.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'll have to look at that. See if it's like that on Spotify. Probably isn't. I don't.
Doesn't
think they
exist
do
on
that.
Spotify.
That's right, because it's a Tool album.
It is.
I keep forgetting about that. That's like the one major band that's not on Spotify.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Well, If you have anything else to talk about music-wise, keep going on it, but, like, I'm just...
Been listening to a lot of Dean Martin and Frank Sinatra Christmas stuff.
Yeah.
That's it.
Alright. Well, do you want to jump right to movies?
Baby, it's cold outside. Baby, it's cold outside.
I want to jump right to movies? This is a really bad, Basically, okay. Oh, this is our worst episode yet. Basically, our main topic for movies, I have a feeling, is going to be The Last Jedi. Would you agree?
No.
Okay. What do you think the main topic's going to be?
Probably Tim Allen's Santa Claus.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I wasn't expecting that to happen. Okay, well, here... Jeez. Yeah. I'm losing my mind, dude.
I can tell.
I can't. I'm not.
Not even here right now.
Yeah. I'm gonna put this up on YouTube and title it The Lost Episode. Except it's gonna be just a normal episode. That's just in parentheses. It's gonna be The Lost Episode.
Episode 14, Lost Episode.
Oh, God. I'm distracted by this. I need to, like... No, I can't close my computer because it's recording.
That's right.
I keep getting Discord messages and I keep reading them and it's putting me off focus. Okay.
So, first up on the list of movies.
Yeah.
Favorite Christmas movie, too.
Favorite Christmas movie?
Yeah.
Die Hard.
Die Hard. Okay. You wanna...
Yeah, that's my choice for movie of the week is Die Hard.
Okay.
Yeah, because it takes place around Christmas time. It's kind of a Christmas movie. I haven't seen it in a while, but it's really good. I've seen it like twice, I think. Have you ever seen it?
Yeah, yes, I've seen Die Hard.
I don't believe you.
Alright.
Quote Die Hard.
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
Well, you could have just seen that in Die Hard 2. Does he say it in all of them? I haven't seen the rest of them.
He says it. There was a PG-13 Die Hard.
Oh, yeah.
And he wastes it on something else instead of...
Yeah, because the PG-13 movies are allowed... Well, most PG-13 movies. I just watched a PG-13 movie that has 2 F-bombs. But most PG-13 movies are allowed 1 F-bomb. And the most classic line from Die Hard features an F-bomb. And when they made a PG-13 Die Hard, they used that line. But the F-bomb gets wasted earlier in the movie, right?
Yeah, by like some nobody.
Yeah. So, like, why? Like, I don't get it. Like, I'm really acutely aware of PG-13 rating criteria. It's just, like, how I am. And, like, I compulsively count the amount of, like, swear words in the movie. Because it's, like, PG-13 is an interesting rating. Because it's not, like, you can't do too much, otherwise you get an R. But it's like a light R-rated movie. Like, it's essentially R-rated, but, like, a little cut back.
Yeah.
The Martian has... There are a couple movies recently that have been getting more and more out there with their, like, content. PG-13 keeps getting closer and closer to R. Eventually, they're going to break it up into 2 ratings, I'm sure, and then...
Like, PG-12,
yeah, right.
PG-14.
Yeah. But, I mean, like, the Bye-Bye Man, that movie's PG-13. That shocked me.
Have you seen it?
No, I haven't seen it, but I saw a video on it, and I was like, wow, I mean, like, at least... I was watching the video, and I was, like, seeing all this, like, gory stuff, and I'm like, at least it's an R-rated horror movie. We don't get those very often. And I looked it up, it's PG-13. Apparently, they just straight up gore. They're just fine with it, I guess. Now I always thought that was a thing you couldn't do in PG-13 movies.
So does that mean when somebody's getting like hacked to bits, there's gore flying everywhere, and they're just like, oh gosh darn it?
Yeah, no. There's a scene in the Bye Bye Man where somebody's getting a knife like stabbed into their face, and you're seeing it like go in. There's blood flying everywhere, and I'm like, this is a PG-13 movie. That's amazing.
They're just like, oh son of a gun.
Oh jeez.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's just a kind of a tangent there, but
like they're not allowed anything even close to a swear word, but they can have gore.
Yeah. Well, there's language in it too.
It would have been funnier the other way.
Yeah. Yeah. That would be great.
Somebody gets a leg ripped off. Oh wow.
Anyway,
that really is a bummer.
That movie's really bad. I can't say for sure because I haven't seen it, but like, yeah, no, it's not good.
So next up on our list is we're watching the Bye Bye Man.
Yeah.
Man.
We're pausing A24 Quest, and then we're just gonna watch the Bye Bye Man for one week instead.
Yeah.
Like, not even supplementary too. It's just gonna replace A24 Quest for 1 week.
It's true.
What's your movie of the week?
My movie of the week is probably, I really like Elf. Elf gets a lot of hate though, because
Will Ferrell, I think.
Yeah.
Will Ferrell's a really like love him or hate him actor. Personally, I don't like him.
I don't either, but I still like Elf.
Okay, fair enough.
So I mean, like I've never like really enjoyed him in anything else for that matter, but as far as like Christmas movie goes, like I'll watch Elf every year. But I also watch A Christmas Story every year. But I'm usually more excited to see Elf, just because Elf.
Yeah, no,
Zooey Deschanel.
Oh right, she was in that, and Peter Dinklage, right?
And Peter Dinklage.
Yeah.
And that older guy. I always forget his name.
Will Ferrell.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was never a huge fan of Elf as a kid, but that's probably because it's probably because I wasn't a very young kid when I first saw it. I was like a teenager.
Yeah.
And I didn't have like any sort of nostalgia for it, and I saw it and I was just like, I don't know, it just didn't resonate with me. I don't know why. As a kid, my favorite Christmas movie was Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Reindeer.
Yeah.
You're not a reindeer.
Yeah. But no, I have very fond memories of that movie, and I think it kind of started my love for like stop motion.
Yeah, probably.
It's pretty sweet, honestly.
I mean,
really scary too.
That movie is great. Bumbles bounce.
Yeah.
It's the best part. Is the guy's like silver and gold, and then he's like Bumbles bounce. And it's like, oh yeah.
Yeah. I just like that movie. I don't know.
What's the one with Heat Miser and Snow Miser? Gosh, I forget the name of it.
Is it the all I'm thinking of is that movie where Martin Short played Jack Frost. I think it's one of the Santa Claus movies.
That was Tim Allen, the Santa Claus.
Yeah.
Number 3, I believe.
No, I know what you're talking about. There's like a
It's another stop motion one.
Yeah, Heat guy and a cold guy.
Yeah, Heat Miser and Cold Miser?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm Mr. White Christmas, I'm Mr. Snow.
Is that what that's from?
Yeah.
Oh, what's that called?
I'm Mr.
People in comments. Or
I'm
people,
Mr. Ten Below.
Send
me an email.
Email us if you know what that's called.
multimediacubcast@gmail.com. Email.
Yeah, no, I have vague memories of what you're talking about.
I forget the name of it though.
No,
it's good.
Seriously,
That's the one my dad loves.
Yeah.
And so that's why I liked it.
Seriously, the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer is terrifying for kids.
I mean,
is the one you're talking about. That one really freaked me out as a kid.
The Bumble comes out and he's just like,
yeah.
You're just like, oh.
That thing's scary.
It was.
It's like, and it's, oh gosh.
Yeah.
I just have awful memories. Like, gave me nightmares as a kid. There are certain movies that gave me nightmares as a kid, like James and the Giant Peach.
Oh, yeah.
Any Tim Burton movie, really, is a big one. Like, Nightmare Before Christmas.
Okay, wait.
Corpse Bride.
Hold up.
Yeah.
Nightmare Before Christmas is a Christmas or a Halloween movie?
Both. That's the thing about it. It's 2 holidays. It's Christmas and Halloween.
Some people disagree.
Really?
Some people do.
Okay.
Some people are very adamant that it's a Christmas movie, and some people are very adamant that it's a Halloween movie.
Well, it's a spooky Christmas movie. It works well as either.
I agree.
Yeah. I think it serves a dual function. It's got a Christmas theme with spooky characters. It's half and half. It's a good movie though.
I like it.
I never saw it as a kid. Actually, as the first time I saw it, I was a teen, and I was babysitting like 8 kids at this house actually. And I was like, well, I'll put on a movie because that's an easy way to keep kids quiet. I mean, of course it's not, but at the time I thought it was. You put on a movie and kids are just gonna they'll get bored within a couple minutes and they'll be like climbing on the ceiling like little demon children.
The Exorcist all over again.
And I gave them a choice between 3 movies, and the one they picked was Nightmare Before Christmas, and so I put it on. And that was my first time seeing it, and I was like, this is pretty good. For a kid's movie, it's pretty good. But it's Tim Burton. I don't think Tim Burton directed it. I think he just produced it. Same with like Corpse Bride, but like, yeah, no. Great movies, both of them.
I like them.
Yeah. So, yeah, any other like major Christmas movies you want to talk about? This is our first Christmas program.
Oh, they're remaking A Christmas Story. Hey, did you see anything about that?
Like the one with the kid?
Yeah. You'll shoot your eye out.
That's a shame.
Yeah.
Look, certain remakes I get, okay? Like, certain remakes, it's kind of dated, you know, like, putting a remake of this movie in the modern era, fine. Like, Jumanji, as stupid as a concept as that remake is, I understand it. Because it's Jumanji, but it's a video game this time. Like, they changed the concept for the modern era, and as dumb as it is, as, like, insulting as it is, like, I get it, right? The problem with rebooting something like A Christmas Story is it doesn't need to be rebooted.
Nope.
It doesn't need to be remade.
Because
like
really.
it stands perfectly well on its own today. It's not very dated. I mean, like Red Ryder BB gun. I wanted a Red Ryder when I was a kid, and that movie came out like 30 years ago. I still want a Red Ryder BB gun. I have one actually.
You do?
I do. I do have a Red Ryder BB gun.
Steal it.
Yeah, I think it's upstairs currently. I legit after I still, as a kid, I still resonated with a lot of the stuff in that movie. Like, you know, like, parents don't want you to swear, you know.
There's bullies.
His bullies.
Somebody licked a pole.
Yeah, right. Like, this is all stuff that still happens. when I was a kid, like, kids in our school, like, they licked poles and they got their tongue stuck. And then, like, teachers had to tell us not to do it. Because what was odd is a lot of them did it because of A Christmas Story, and I don't get that because they portrayed it as a bad thing in The Christmas Story.
Yeah.
They made sure to show how like painful and agonizing it is, and kids still did it because they saw it in a movie. Maybe there is something to movies making violent kids. I don't know, because it's just. I don't know.
I think it's the ignorance of people. But that's
Although,
just
actually,
me.
you know what? I think the way that A Christmas Story influenced that behavior is not that kids saw it and they wanted to do it themselves. It's that kids saw it and they wanted to convince their friends who may not have seen it to do it. I think that's where it came in. They're like, you should lick this pole, man. Peer pressure. That's probably it.
Hey, man, have you ever tried licking poles? You'll never be the same after.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I never did that. By the way,
me neither.
It's I the prospect of having to like pry my tongue off a frozen pole didn't sound like fun. Believe it or not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember I licked an ice cube once, and the ice cube was so cold it stuck to my tongue.
Good story.
Yep.
yeah, that does happen. But the thing with ice cubes is they melt pretty quick.
So it was no problemo.
Yeah.
Anything else Christmas related you got?
Not at the moment, but since I think this entire episode's going to be movie related, if anything pops into my head, I'll just like interrupt the conversation and yell it out.
Okay.
So, let's get A24 Fest out of the way first. Or no, let's just jump into our main topic and then have that later on as kind of like a warm down.
A warm down?
Yeah.
That's not a thing.
A cool down.
There you go.
There you go. Oh, yeah. So, it's that time of year again, and a Star Wars movie just came out.
So what have you asked for Christmas? Star Wars? Because you got it.
Yes. So, I've seen very divided opinions about this movie. I want to say, I haven't seen any reasonable reviews of it. It's either people are saying it's the best thing ever, people are saying it's an insult to the Star Wars series, and it's the worst movie they've ever seen.
Yeah.
There's not really any in between, at least that I've seen. Maybe there is now that like people are cooling down and it's been out for a week.
Yeah. Well, the way I see it, the people that saw it when it first came out were diehards. Like extreme, like I'm seeing it that first night, period. And so they'd see it.
Oh, yeah, we got a fun story about the circumstances under which we saw it.
It's true.
Or at least I do. But yeah, continue.
So they would go and they'd see it, and then these diehards, they would go home, and then they would type their reviews on whether or not they loved it or hate it, and there's only one thing that can happen out of diehards going and seeing a Star Wars movie most of the time, and it's the fact that they either loved it because it's technically Star Wars, or they hate it because it's not Star Wars enough.
Yeah. And Okay, so I'll tell my story first. We saw it 12:50 a.m., mind you, like as in like
early,
50 after midnight, and I had work that morning. Like I didn't sleep after seeing it, so I saw it, went home, drank some coffee, and went to work. Essentially.
Yep.
So that was a rough night for me, but I'm glad I saw it because. And we had our friend Chris in the car with us on the way back. It was funny. I knew what was coming, man. Chris, you and I were like giving our genuine first reactions in the theater, just like discussing it when everybody's leaving. And we were like, well, not to spoil what we thought of it or anything, but we were like, it was pretty okay. You know, not the best thing, not the worst thing. And I looked over and Chris is just seething.
Yeah.
Chris was just quiet. And he was just shaking his head. The funniest thing is, like, there's a scene in the movie that was really stupid. And there's a lot of those. There's a lot of very stupid scenes in the movie. There's a scene in the movie where it's very stupid. And I was like, it's one of those things where I looked over to see what your guys' reaction was. And Josh, you were just kind of like shaking your head a little bit. And I was like, okay. And I saw Chris. He was bent forward in his seat.
Yep.
Head in hands,
staring
at the floor, and he was. I saw a broken man, and he was in anguish because you have to understand, Chris is a massive Star Wars fan,
or he was
until he saw this movie. So, and then and so Chris didn't say anything about it until we got to the car. And, like, you and I were talking about it. And then, like, when we got to the car, we sat down, and I was like, okay, so, Chris, what did you think of the movie?
No, you said, what did you hate?
Yeah, what did you hate about the movie? And he talked to the rest of the car ride home. And
about how it's the worst thing he ever experienced.
We had a debate, and it turned into a heated argument. Because he was livid, and I was pretty, like, okay on the movie, and I felt like it was maybe a little unjustified rage. So, anyway, without further ado, I guess a good way to start off, what would you give it out of 10 as a rating?
I don't know yet. I still haven't rated it on Letterboxd, because...
I kind of rated... When I rate on Letterboxd, I rate, like... It's not a very accurate rating of what I think of movies sometimes. Like, with Star Wars, like... my rating of The Last Jedi is somewhere between a 6 and a 7. Because I think it's closer to a 6, but I put a 7 on Letterboxd, as in like a 3.5,
I got you.
Out of 5. So I put a 7 on Letterboxd because I was like, I want to let people know that overall it's a good movie. I have my problems with it, but it's a good movie. Notice that I said good movie. I didn't say it's a good Star Wars movie. The one thing Chris hated about it, that he's probably right about it, is that it's just doesn't feel like traditional Star Wars. However, the thing that people can't get over is the fact that, it's different, but is that really a bad thing,
And to a lot of people it is, and
Yeah.
to a lot of people it isn't. That's why all the reviews were kind of split down the middle between half of them being like, oh my god, this is the best, and oh my god, this is the worst thing ever.
See, I think I think a lot of these people are Siths because they're blinded by rage and they can't see the truth.
Oh boy.
The truth being that it's a fun movie. It's a very fun movie.
Yeah, porgs.
Yeah, yeah.
Actually, I've come to terms. I don't dislike porgs. They don't hinder the movie in any way, really. They're purely something to sell for Disney.
Yeah. See, I'm trying to...
And as gross as that is, I don't necessarily dislike porgs.
I guess I can see where you're coming from. See, here's the thing. Like...
They didn't Jabba or Jar Jar it up.
No.
At all.
No. They're a very minor part of the movie. They're not important to the plot. They're just a little fun thing for kids.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. It's like, it felt very, like, a lot of the scenes with the porgs felt very, and we're going to keep this spoiler free, but there are scenes with the porg, anytime the porgs showed up, I was like, this is very not Star Wars. Like,
This is very Disney.
This is very Disney, yes. This is like more something that this is a Disney movie now. And there are lots of points in which I thought that exact thing. I was like, there are nods to Star Wars, there's inspiration taken from Star Wars, and there are actually moments that are going to go down as some of the coolest things I've ever seen in a Star Wars movie. Like, I feel like I'm focusing more on the negatives, but I want to remind you that my review of it is positive because, seriously, there are moments in here that are just, even counting the original trilogy, there are some of the most mind-blowing, amazing things I've ever seen in this whole series. So, like I said, like, the main thing I said about it is it's like The Force Awakens, but it's less safe. And the high points are much higher than The Force Awakens. The good things in this movie work much better than they did in The Force Awakens. However, the stupid things in the movie were way more prevalent as well.
Yeah.
It's a hard movie to rate because of that. Like, it's... For every scene where I was like, this is cool. This is, like, what I love about Star Wars, what's happening right here. I love this. It's just, like, something that just completely made me, like, sigh in utter disbelief of the stupidity that I was seeing. Was never far behind.
It's true. And a lot of times it would interrupt it partway through.
Yeah, right.
Like,
Sometimes
you'd be like, oh my god, this is awesome. And then, what?
Yeah.
Really? Really?
Yeah.
All right. Doing this now.
And sometimes it goes the opposite way. There's a scene, I'm not going to spoil it, but there's a scene that starts really stupid and really ridiculous, and it ends really cool. So it's just... If they would have taken all the good stuff about this and, like, focused more on that, and... Well, I guess that's a stupid criticism because, of course, that goes for every movie. If they take all the good stuff and take all the bad stuff out, of course, the movie will be better. But I'm just saying, more of what made this movie worked could have been helpful.
it was possible.
Yeah.
Just wasn't there.
Yeah, exactly. It had there's potential here, and I don't even want to say there's wasted potential because it did very much utilize its potential to the fullest in a lot of scenes where I was like, this is about the coolest thing they could have done with this idea, and I was super impressed. But
I mean, once again, we kind of run into the same problem, though, as I had with the first one. Now that I've gone back and I've kind of looked over it, I realize how similar this is to Episode 5.
I don't think it's as similar to Episode 5 as The Force Awakens was to Episode 4.
I agree.
I think it's safe.
But,
it's safer. Yeah, go on. Yeah.
It's still like lining up just a little too much for my liking.
Yeah, fair enough.
You have a person, they're going out on their own to find a teacher. They find teacher to train them. Teacher's like, I don't want to teach you. And then they get taught by the teacher. Like, and then everyone else is doing their own thing. Like, it really does mirror the old series.
Yeah, no.
A little too much for my liking.
Yeah. And,
on the upside, Benicio.
Yeah, and that goes to play for, like I said, this is hard to talk about, because I agree with you there, but it's like for every negative, there's a positive, because it also has stuff that's pretty original. Pretty new.
It does.
Like, and there are scenes that, like, make reference to scenes in Episode 5, but, like, clearly they're self-aware about it. Like, you know what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. Specifically a scene near the end, where it's, like, clearly they're very self-aware about the situation, and they're, like, it serves a different purpose. It's, like, a similar setting, but it serves a different purpose, and it's different enough, and it's just kind of an homage to the original series, and I guess I appreciate that.
This is getting more difficult to not do spoilers.
Yeah.
The more we talk about it.
You know what we should do? We should go full spoilers in a segment near the end.
You want to do that?
Or we could just do it now, and I could put it near the end. So that we don't interrupt the flow.
You want to do that?
Yes.
Okay.
Let's do it. Edit now. All right. So brought out of the edit here, we just discussed spoiler talk, and that's going to be at the end of this episode. This is going to be a confusing episode to edit, and now let's continue with the rest of the episode, not Star Wars related.
Oh boy. Yeah. So Star Wars, that's a cool thing, right? Anyway, moving on.
So,
you want to hit on A24?
A24 is going to be just me this week because we both forgot about Ginger and Rosa until this morning where I remembered about it. But I'm sure Josh did too, but he was at school.
No, you texted me, and I didn't get it until about noon because I slept in because I was super tired.
Fair enough.
And then I realized at noon that I hadn't seen that movie and that I should probably watch it. And then I'm like, oh, I got to record a podcast in under an hour.
Yeah, and it's an hour and a half movie, so I've seen it, he hasn't. If you want to watch it on your own, you can quick touch on it next episode, but otherwise...
I plan on to.
Next episode's going to be about Spring Breakers, which if you want to see it like with me, we can. Or if you want to see it on your own, that's fine, because I've already seen it, so whatever. We'll see. Anyway, I saw Ginger and Rosa today, and it was better than Charles Swan III. Moving on.
Wow.
What other movies?
Okay, I guess that's the review.
Yeah.
Wow, that was real on. Good. Now I'm not so excited to see it.
Here's literally the. I'm gonna open up. I took notes as I was watching it, and I think I'm gonna start doing this for movies that I plan on talking about on the podcast, because it's easier to organize my thoughts this way. All right. So I've got 3 cons and 3 pros. I'll start with the cons because they're more prevalent. First of all, I will say Ginger and Rosa is about 2 teenage girls living in I don't know if it said what decade. It looked like early 60s, because it's like 1945 is when they were both born, I think. This movie's really artsy. It doesn't like explaining itself. 1945 London, they were both born, and this is when they're like 16, 17, 18-ish, around that area. And the war is over. I mean, like, obviously World War II is going on when they're born, and now the war's over. And Ginger is a activist campaigning against the atomic bombs usage in Hiroshima, and like they want no more atomic bombs. And Rosa, her best friend, is a Christian and also a slut and sleeps with everybody. And Ginger wants to be like her because she's this cool kid, and Ginger's a weird kid. And that's essentially the synopsis. And this movie's weird. This is the A24, I know. Like, this is closer to what I'd expect from a movie distributed by A24. And I think, okay, actually, I want to get something out of the way. We said that Charles Swan is the first A24 movie. Depending on how you look at it, that's not actually correct. It's how it's listed on their website, and it's how it was released to the general public. The first wide released A24 movie is Charles Swan III, but it didn't technically come out before Ginger and Rosa, or The Spectacular Now, or a couple others. So we're just going by how it is on the website. It might not necessarily be correct, but that's just how we're doing it. But anyway, as the second movie in A24 Fests, we're starting to get more into A24 territory. Because I don't know about you, but Charles Swan III did not feel like an A24 movie.
Nope, it didn't.
It just felt really cheap and stupid. But this is a really artsy period political drama. And it's boring as sin. And
Great.
it's honestly, that's like my major con about it. It's like it's a fine film. It's very well made. It's decent. It's everything about it. It's good. It's a good movie. But it's slow, and it has this weird editing where it's like, what I wrote was like, nothing feels real. Like every scene, all the scenes are really. And here's the thing. I don't think that's an objective negative, because it's definitely a stylistic choice. Because like when you're that age, like I guess, like when you're a late teenager, everything seems to go so fast. Like you're growing up so fast, and it's like the feel of the movie connects into that idea. So it's a stylistic choice, just not one that I necessarily appreciated. Honestly, yeah, no, I was going over and over again, but it kind of boils down to, it's a slow, artsy political drama. And if you like that kind of thing, you'd probably like this movie. If it sounds boring to you, it probably would be, because it's slow and boring. And the acting is... Oh, and I was going to say... So looking at my notes here, my second note is that the characters don't feel real, which is true. None of the characters are realistic. None of them talk how a real person would talk. It's a very odd way to write a script. It's kind of like Killing of a Sacred Deer, except in Killing of the Sacred Deer, it helped the movie. In this case, I don't know what they were going for. Like, and it's a little less unnatural than Killing of the Sacred Deer, because, of course, Killing of the Sacred Deer, the way the characters talked was very intentional, because it was meant to put you on edge. It was meant to unnerve you.
Yeah.
In this case, I feel like it's trying to be realistic, but this dialogue does not read like anything a real person would say. It's very odd, and there's a lot of pretty not great actors in this too. Specifically this one woman who comes into play later on, like an American woman who's just like, I just never liked her in any scene. In fact, one bit got like laughable where like she's supposed to be like yelling out for a ginger because they're like getting separated by like police, and she's supposed to be yelling out for ginger, and like everybody's really panicked, and she's like, Ginger. And seriously, I laughed because I was like, oh, come on, you couldn't have done another take.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So yeah, if you had to miss an A24 movie this early in A24 Fest, this probably would have been a good one to miss, because I feel like there's merit to it. It's the thing it has going for it that Charles Swan, doesn't, is that it's a well-made, well-executed film. It's good, objectively. There's nothing wrong with it, other than a few weird stylistic choices, which, that's not something wrong with it. It's just something I didn't like. And the acting's kind of iffy. But it ends stronger than it begins. Like, the last act, the last, like, half an hour, 45 minutes are actually really interesting. And it really picks up. But I was completely bored throughout the rest of it. And I was, like, checking my phone. And I was just...
rough.
Like, yeah.
That's rough.
So, give it a shot if you like British period dramas about young girls coming of age. Give it a miss if that sounds like the most boring thing in the world to you, because it probably will be. And that's basically my review of it. I didn't hate it. I actually liked it, in the sense that, like, the last 30 minutes made it worth it, because they're pretty interesting and pretty engaging, but the rest of the movie doesn't really justify it. So, yeah, I'm probably not going to be in a hurry to watch it again. It wasn't a bad movie, but it was just kind of forgettable, I think. So, yeah, that's all I have to say about it.
Okay.
For Westfest, I just rewatched Life Aquatic.
Nice.
Still good. Nothing to say about that. I also just rewatched Shin Godzilla, and I liked it even more this time around.
I really want to watch that. Damn
Yeah.
it.
It's like a great way to explain it is it's like it's a realistic Godzilla. It's not about hero. It's about how the Japanese government would realistically handle something like that. And it's very funny, very like it's a satire. It's got a lot of dark humor in it, really. And it's just like kind of satirizing how inefficient the government is when reacting to natural disasters, aka a tsunami, like Japan experienced with the Fukushima power plant.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's like, I think this whole movie is whereas the original Godzilla was about the nukes in World War II, this Godzilla is more about how the Japanese government handles natural disasters, because Godzilla is not really established to be the result of a nuclear attack. He's more just a natural disaster, just a thing that just comes naturally.
Yeah, I have heard a lot about that and how it relates well to that kind of stuff, but I just still haven't seen it.
It's a very good Godzilla movie. It's a lot less action oriented than you'd expect a Godzilla movie to be. A lot of it is just like shots of like government people talking. Like that's the majority of the movie, and that may put off some American audiences. Myself, I really enjoyed it because it's a side of Godzilla we don't see. It's the side of like the government like not knowing what to do and just like scrambling. It's kind of fun. It's like I said, it's in the real world. They don't have like a big robot that can send after it. Like they don't know how to deal with it, and it's just it's interesting. It's a very interesting
sounds really
movie.
cool. I've wanted to see it for a while.
Yeah,
should get on that.
Yeah. Other than that, I haven't been seeing a whole lot recently. Have you?
I haven't seen anything since Star Wars, so
cool. So we can talk about upcoming movies. I would like to remind you that the Phantom Thread comes out in about a week.
Was it a week? I thought it came out sooner than that.
I think it comes out Christmas Day.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I could be wrong about
cool.
that, but I believe it comes out Christmas Day.
Super excited for that.
I'm very pumped for that.
That should be really, really fun.
Yeah.
We still have to go see the Shape of Water.
Yeah, I'm worried we're gonna miss it at this point. I hope we don't. I want to go see it in the theater.
Yeah, me too. As far as it goes though, like, gosh, I
don't want this to be another Mother where we saw Mother before we started this podcast, and then by the time we started the podcast, we couldn't go see it again to talk about it again.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
So right now it's only playing in one theater near us, which is unfortunate because it would be great if it was playing in more. But I don't know. I don't know. It hasn't gotten this huge release like I wanted it to. It didn't blow up nearly as big as I was hoping, but I'm
kind of surprised because it is a Guillermo del Toro movie.
Yeah.
But it is kind of like one of his more artsy things. It's not a Hellboy.
Yeah. Well, and the problem with it is that as of right now, we have one theater to see it in. It's not that close to us. And the times are not great for my work schedule at all.
Yeah. So we may honestly miss this for the podcast, unfortunately, but rest assured we will talk about it when it's on like Blu-ray.
Oh, definitely. And I'm buying it. That was decided when I heard about it.
Yeah.
Unavoidable. It's going to happen.
We also got to look into, is Mother out on Blu-ray yet? If so, we'll have to buy it and watch it.
I haven't seen it anywhere, but,
Yeah, could be.
That's just me. But yeah, so Shape of Water, super upset that I haven't seen that yet. I still want to get out and see 3 Billboards, but that one's a little bit more wider showing, so...
Yeah, we could probably find that
We could probably get to that one still.
Yeah.
But otherwise, like, movies coming up... Oh, I still want to see Darkest Hour, too. I don't know if I'll find time to do that, but...
Well, that's not until late next year, so we got some time there. Is it not late next year?
Darkest Hour?
Yeah.
It's out right now.
It is?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
I honestly did not know that.
Yeah.
The trailer I saw, I thought said December 2018.
No. Oh. December 22nd, 2017.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I had no idea it's out.
Well, coming out. There are showtimes for it, says,
December 22nd, so it isn't out yet.
Not quite. But soon.
Okay. I was completely misinformed on that. So yeah, we could go see that.
Yeah. Super excited. That should be fun.
Yeah.
I like Gary Oldman.
Roger Ebert gave it a 4 out of 4.
How about that?
Nice.
It's a weird scoring system.
Yeah, the 4 stars, the Ebert, that's... I can't talk.
Jumanji comes out tomorrow, according to... For us.
Does it?
It does.
That's a shame. Yeah, let's go.
We're probably gonna see it.
Yeah, we'll go see it. Yeah. I have no clue what to expect about that. It's probably gonna be stupid, but that's exactly what I want to see. See, Jumanji will be a great palate cleanser.
It will
after
I think so.
After The Last Jedi, because The Last Jedi, I so wanted it to be a cool Star Wars movie, and every time something stupid happened, I died a little inside. But Jumanji, the stupider the better. All right.
Yeah.
That movie could be the most illogical, dumb piece of garbage in the world, and I will have a great time with it.
Yeah.
So it'll be a nice little relaxing... It's a relaxing movie to see, because there's no stakes. If it's bad in a non-enjoyable way, then who cares? It's a Jumanji movie. If it's bad in a entertaining way, I will have had fun seeing it. So...
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Do you want to see the new Jackie Chan movie?
No.
Okay.
I still want to see The Foreigner. I haven't even seen The Foreigner.
Yeah, me neither.
So...
But anyway, then on the 22nd, we have Darkest Hour coming out and Downsizing.
Which would you rather see of those two, is
Both.
the question.
I actually...
Double feature.
Yeah. It would be such a bad double feature, but yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's about as bad as a double feature of Mother and Lupin the Third.
That was fun though, because
it was fun.
It was,
but it was nonsense for a double feature.
That's true. That was an awful double feature because they were so like I cannot think of two more different movies.
That was very bizarre.
And starting with Mother, and Mother's such a heavy movie.
Yeah,
coming out of it with that really really contemplative, depressed.
We
headspace.
came out of there and we were all just quiet, just kind of looking at each other.
We were just kind of like contemplative, like wow,
that was boring. And then we later decided, oh, but it's good because of this and this and this, and like, so it got interesting.
Just like that was slow, and you know what? I am sad now, and it's just I don't know what to think.
saw
Lupin the Third. God,
Lupin the Ferdinand.
Then we saw Lupin the Third, and
it was fun. That was awesome.
Very,
it was really cool.
Very fun. I really liked that movie.
The Castle of Cagliostro.
Yeah, the you should specify the Castle of Cagliostro. The Castle of KKK.
Oh no.
Well. Okay, so in the continuity of this review, we're just about winding down now, and we've been going straight through, but we've got some... Do you have anything else to talk about?
Fandom Thread is on the 25th, so yes, Christmas.
Yes. And then I believe a dog's... I keep saying A Dog's Purpose. Isle of Dogs.
Dude, you want to see A Dog's Purpose?
I do not.
I think you're wrong.
I saw that and I was like, oh, no. Please tell me this isn't going to be a thing now, because there is 9 Lives and then A Dog's Purpose. Like, are dumb talking animal movies coming back? I hope not.
Yes.
Gosh.
So...
And then, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think...
Day of the Dead Bloodline?
Oh, is that a Romero?
It's written by Romero.
Okay.
It's directed by someone else.
Interesting. So a new Dead movie.
That's weird.
Sweet. But correct me if I'm wrong, I bebelieve Isle of Dogs is next month, January 2018?
I believe so. Because February?
February? Okay.
Well, I'm missing it. I might have just scrolled way past it. My bad.
Well, I don't know. Anyway,
I'll get back to you when I figure it out.
Okay. Hopefully Westfest can be done by the time it comes out, because then we can add it to Westfest.
Or do you want to finish it with that? Because that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Hopefully we can do everything else before that comes out. Maybe even we can like save one last movie for like the week before it comes out, so that we can like get pumped for it.
February 2nd.
February 2nd. That gives us plenty of time to finish with.
Not. My bad. I didn't clarify. My bad. All my fault. February 2nd. We have 2 things to be interested about that are not Isle of Dogs.
Okay.
My bad. I got distracted. All my fault. Cloverfield movie, still untitled.
Oh, that's coming out so soon?
Yes.
Well, I guess 10 Cloverfield Lane was the same way. Like, they announced it. They're like... Do you remember when that got announced? That was so crazy. It was just like, new Cloverfield movie coming out next month.
Yeah.
When it announced.
Yeah.
It's like, whoa,
I love that. I think that's so cool. I love when they do that.
Because we're so used to seeing a trailer like...
years in advance.
Avatar 2 coming out 2019, you know? Like, we're so used to that.
That's so dumb. I hate that.
Like,
I really hate it.
Yeah.
Like, sure, hype rises, but I love that, it's coming out, like, soon.
Yeah, it's coming out in, like, a couple weeks. Like,
that's awesome.
It's almost
I
out.
love that.
It was almost out when they announced it. That was pretty cool.
Actually, if there's one thing Five Nights at Freddy's does right, is just releasing games. Not telling anybody, just here it is.
Fair enough, yeah.
I like that. I
like that because I like that because it means I don't have to hear about Five Nights at Freddy's all the time.
It's true.
Yeah. It keeps it out of my out of my headspace.
I mean, in context though of other things, just think if like the next Marvel movie was released tomorrow.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be cool?
Yeah, I guess.
Like all of a sudden it's like, oh, by the way, here's a Captain Fantastic or whatever movie. Have a fun time.
Fantastic.
And then you're just like, what?
Yeah, Captain Phantasma. Captain Fantastic was that Viggo Mortensen movie, wasn't it?
I don't know, man.
That one that looked like a Wes Anderson movie.
I don't know, man.
Wasn't.
Anyway, February 2nd, a Cloverfield movie, and Winchester.
Winchester?
The
Ghost, Helen Mirren Ghost movie.
Helen Mirren Ghost movie.
Yes, I do want to see that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exciting. Don't forget, February 9th, of course, important date to remember, 50 Shades Freed.
Of course.
Best movie. Peter Rabbit.
So wait, no, 50 Shades Freed. I was thinking about this. Is that the second movie now?
No, this is the third, I think.
Because it seemed like the third, and I legitimately don't remember there being a second one.
I think there
Did
was.
I just, like, blank it out from my memory?
I think there was. Yeah, no, there was. You blanked out from memory.
Okay. All right. I was like, this feels like this. I think they're making it sound like this is the third in the series, and I was like, I don't remember there being a second.
Yeah, no, third.
Okay. Well, I guess it's just so not like a thing I care about that I just didn't even notice when the second one came out.
Black Panther on the 16th of February.
Ooh.
More. Red Sparrow
Whoa.
on March 2nd.
I just made the weirdest spike on the capture. That's crazy. Anyway, nobody can see that but me. Alright, go on.
I'm still looking for Isle of Dogs. Pacific Rim is on March 23rd. Oh, Isle of Dogs, March 23rd.
Oh, I thought it was like
little
January. Okay, so we've got plenty of time before that comes out.
Double feature, Pacific Rim Uprising and Isle of Dogs.
That'd be almost as weird a double feature as Mother. Well, no, not quite. Cool. I think our alright, so are we done?
I think so.
Okay, so well, this is us signing off.
Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa, have a great Happy New Year, enjoy your times with your families or whatever you do. Holidays and religions don't need to be mixed, but who cares anyway? Have a good one.
Happy Hanukkah. Enjoy our The Last Jedi spoiler talk. Spoiler warning. Fair spoiler warning coming. But I'll see you later.
May the Force be merry.
Yes. Okay, welcome to the spoiler segment, which I will have edited to put at the end of the video so that you don't miss anything. If you want to, again, warning, if you don't want things spoiled completely for you.
Get out now.
Yeah, get out now.
Like, seriously.
I'm drawing this out as long as possible because when I show this on Video Club, I'm going to close the video now, So
you got to give yourself some time.
Yeah, I gotta give myself some time.
Got to give everyone some time to be like, Colin, you're messing up. You haven't closed it
close
yet.
The video.
Come on, close it now. Do
Okay.
it. Come on.
So, full The Last Jedi spoilers.
Okay, I want to kick it off with Frank Oz.
Frank Oz as Yoda, as Puppet Yoda.
And I was 110% against it. When I first saw it, I'm like, Yoda? What are you doing in this movie? What is happening?
That's the scene I referenced earlier in this episode.
I know.
Where I was like, it starts stupid and it gets cool.
And then, like, Yoda's sitting there and he's just like, you're gonna burn the tree, ah? And then
he strikes it with lightning.
Yeah, no, and then he, like, goes up to the tree and he's like, I'm gonna burn it. And then he strikes it with lightning and he's like,
And he just starts laughing.
I lost my shit there.
Like,
it was so good.
On?
It was so good. And then as soon as he shot that tree, I was just like, dang, I'm glad they brought Yoda back.
Yeah, no. And then I at that point I was still reeling. Like I said this to Zach, I think. At that point in the movie, when Yoda showed up, I was so tired when watching this movie, I legitimately, for a couple seconds, thought I was hallucinating. Because it was so surreal, him being in this movie, and him being, like, Puppet Yoda from, like, Empire. I was like... I was watching it, I shook my head. I was like, what? Am I seeing this right now? Did Puppet Yoda just show up in this movie?
Oh my gosh.
And you have to understand, like, if you're listening to this, I assume you've seen this movie. He came out of nowhere. There was no indication that he was coming. Literally, the camera is like, it's like this long shot of Luke, and then in the foreground of the shot, the camera pans back past the back of Yoda's head, and I was like, What?
Yeah.
I died.
It's so bizarre.
Like, what? Was that Yoda?
You know, yeah, no, I was,
Yeah.
like, and that's the one thing, like, I have a friend that I work with, and that she just started asking me a bunch of questions about Star Wars, the new one, and I started answering them, and they were all spoilers, and I told her, are you sure you want to know this? And she's like, yeah, and I'm just like, Yoda's in the movie.
Yeah.
And she lost her crap. She's like, she was so upset. And
it's
understandably, too, because why would Yoda be in this movie? Well, it makes sense in the context of the movie, I think.
Yeah, because, like, this is when Luke's at his lowest point.
Yeah.
And, like, the whole Force Ghost thing is like, they acknowledge that the Force Ghost thing is still a thing in this movie. Because I was thinking that was one of the things that they kind of dropped for this new trilogy, because it's kind of cheesy. And they go full cheese in this scene.
Oh, they go full cheese with this movie.
Yeah, there's a lot of cheese in this movie. It's like, I kind of appreciated that, but that also led to a lot of the stupid scenes that we'll talk about later.
I'm sorry. I still don't like when Mark Hamill winks.
Yeah, all the comedic relief with Mark Hamill. At first, I kind of liked it, and then I thought about it, and I was like, it like contradicts what they're trying to do with his character, because like he is a old bitter man, and he's rejected the Force, right? And he's just like gonna die in solitude, and this little punk has invaded his island, and she's bothering him. And he wouldn't be, like, coy and, like, wisecracking. He would be like, I'm gonna kill you if you don't get off this island. You don't know what you're messing with.
I'm going to kill you.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
And so, it's like, I mean, at the same time, you know, like, somewhere in my brain, it's just the idea of, like, Luke being this funny old man is kind of entertaining.
It is.
And
it's something I like,
Herein lies the problem with the movie. It's not accurate to the character, really. I mean, like, it doesn't do justice to the situation the character's in, but it's entertaining. Mm-hmm. And this is the issue. Like, it's the Marvel thing, where, like, there's so much stupid stuff that's fun, you know? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
So there's a part in there that is all about Luke and his, like, should I or should I not teach this girl? And it's that flashback sequence where he's thinking about Kylo, and then he's like, I can feel the bad inside him. I'm going to kill him. Oh, but I can't kill him. Oh, but he thinks I'm going to kill him.
Yeah,
oh, but now he's trying to kill me. I hate that. I hated all of that.
They show the same flashback 3 times with,
and I
like,
hated
different information each time.
And I hated it.
And it was stupid. Yeah, that was the first major moment in the movie where I was like, "This is really stupid."
Yeah, I really hated it. Gonna
be like, and another thing, I'm gonna be honest with you. I didn't like anything in that casino planet. The entire time they're on that planet with that casino.
You didn't like the casino planet?
Yeah. The only thing I like about that is it introduces Benicio del Toro's character, which he's pretty cool.
I like him.
He actually, in a weird way, he kind of fits in, like, the Star Wars universe. Like, he makes sense.
I mean, he's a Boba.
Yeah, right.
He's the Boba of this movie.
Yeah, he's this. I would argue Phasma's more like the Boba, because she's like a featureless, like, just weird.
Not anymore.
Weird. That's true. Phasma's dead, or is she?
She's not. And you saw her eye.
Yeah, we saw Phasma's eye, and then she just got cast into fire, Quasimodo style.
Meaning she'll be back in the next one, and you'll be surprised.
Yeah, we didn't see her die. Yeah.
Therefore, she is not.
Yeah. I mean, like, people thought she died in the first movie. I was like, because they talk about. This is a spoiler for the first movie, but I'm gonna assume spoilers are like fine for the first movie now.
She killed Dumbledore?
She was handled very poorly in the first movie, and, like, literally that, like, last scene, there was no, like, climax to her arc. She was just, like, not in the movie anymore, and people were like, did they just kill her off camera? Did they just, like, waste the character? And what I mean is...
At this point, I'd be happier.
Yeah. What I mean was, like, they were like, does this ship have a trash compactor we can throw her in? And then, like, Finn's like, yeah, we got one of those, and then it cuts to the next scene, and Phasma's not with them anymore. It's like, did they just murder Phasma off screen? Like, I don't get it. And then Phasma's back. I would have liked if she had like a line about. I don't get what they did with Phasma, because they clearly didn't put her in the trash compactor. What did they do?
Or if she just killed the big old monster in the trash compactor.
And then escaped? But there would have been a line of dialogue acknowledging that, surely. Like...
Dude, I hated everything with Captain Phasma so far.
Yeah.
Like, nothing's been good with her. Like,
Yeah.
everything that she's been in, it's like, oh, this could be cool, and then it's not. Like, in this movie...
Even her ultimate, like, fight scene's kind of dumb.
It was so bad in this new one.
And it's the her fight scene, her, like, climactic fight scene with Finn, it started kind of strong, but it just devolved into CGI nonsense, and then by the end of it, I was like... And then Finn drops, like, that, like, 80s one-liner. She was like... You'll always be a rebel, and he was like, rebel scum.
No, you're scum.
You're scum.
Rebel scum.
Rebel scum.
It's
and
like,
then he like knocks her into the abyss, and it's like, this is this is ridiculous. This is one of the scenes where it's like, this is way dumber than anything that happened in The Force Awakens.
Captain Phasma should be either should have been more in the movie, or not in the movie at all, in my opinion.
Yeah, right. I feel like
that just would have been better.
Yeah.
I think it's time, Colin. I think it's time. It's time to talk about Princess Leia's flying in space.
Okay. I said the first stupid moment was this flashback thing. I take it back, because I was neglecting Superman Leia.
Yep.
There is a scene in this Star Wars movie where Leia is floating in space without a breathing apparatus, and it's literally like that scene in It's like that scene in Guardians of the Galaxy where like Quill is like floating out in space and he's like getting frozen and then gets saved. I thought it was dumb in that movie, but that movie wasn't a Star Wars movie.
But let's put it in context. So you got Kylo. He's like, I'm gonna shoot my mom in the ship, and then he doesn't, and then somebody else does.
Yes. And
everybody was killed, everybody was murdered, and then it does a smash cut to Leia in space, lying there dead, just floating.
Yeah, and I was like, oh wow,
and it's like, oh good, they killed Leia.
They killed off Leia.
Like, wow, that's cool, that's interesting.
Yeah. And then she
opens her eyes,
and then her hand twitches. And then she just starts flying through space like Superman / Mary Poppins without the umbrella. And she saves herself that way. She just flies through space.
Yep, she just forces herself right back into the ship.
Yeah.
And she's like, I'm A-okay. Just put me in the med bay.
And I was laughing in the theater. And that's probably not a good thing. I don't think that was the intent of the scene. I think we were supposed to go like, oh, she's using the Force. I was in hysterics. And I think this is the first moment where Chris, like, I looked over and he was not having a good time.
I started hitting Chris.
Yeah.
I was like, Chris. He just wasn't having any of it.
Oh, boy.
Like, I was just like, this is the friggin' dumbest thing I've seen all day.
Yeah. That was something else, let me tell you.
That was really bad.
So, yeah, no, it's just like of other like, there's so much like major stuff that happened in the movie to talk about, which I appreciate. It was pretty eventful. Snoke died, and Snoke's just a normal guy. He's got some deformities, but he's just like this normal generic evil guy.
Got a weird crack in his head. He can use the Force real cool but apparently not good enough to sense that he's going to be stabbed.
Yeah, if Snoke... Okay, here's the thing. Despite Snoke being kind of a lackluster character in this movie, kind of like there's nothing really special about him ultimately, and it turns out, I think his death was timely, because his death comes at the point like right when you realize that Snoke isn't the one with true power in the First Order. It's really Kylo Ren. You realize Snoke's using Kylo Ren as a pawn, but Kylo Ren's like way more powerful than he can even imagine. And at that point, like the lightsaber next to Snoke starts turning towards him. Kylo Ren activates it with his mind and pulls it towards him, and Snoke is just cut in half and he's dead. And I thought that was cool. That was one of the moments where I was referencing earlier, where I was like, that is one of the coolest things I've seen in Star Wars.
Yeah,
like especially since it's such an unexpectedly brutal death. Like I people get cut in half in Star Wars occasionally. Like that's just a thing that happens, but it's like
typically it's like drones,
and
robots.
It's like it's never a major character dying of like just getting cut in half. And the way it was cool, and it was just that moment. I was in shock. I would like my mouth open. I was like, oh my god, dude.
Well, if we want to talk about shock, we should probably talk about the Lightspeed suicide bombing.
That's the other major moment where that moment's even cooler than the Snoke moment, and that's this like. I'm gonna go ahead and say it. That is the coolest thing I've ever seen in a Star Wars movie.
I agree.
Seriously, that was okay. Basically, this even though like as I thought about it, that girl, that woman, the blue-haired woman, I didn't like her in this movie.
Me neither.
By the way, I didn't like anything about her, and
that's not the cool part.
But that's not the cool part. She sees that all these ships are getting destroyed as they're trying to escape, and she's like going down with the main ship. She's like the last living person on board, and she's like, we still got a little bit of life speed left in this thing, and she turns it back towards the First Order ship, and she light speeds right through it. And it is amazing.
Like the way it was done, the way it was shot, the way like the sound just cuts out.
Because it's like it was really shot. It was shot and edited extremely well. Like this tension's building, and you realize what she's doing, and you're like, oh wow, here it comes. It's gonna be great. And then it happens, and everything's just silent, and you don't. And it's like
and all you hear is everyone in the theater going.
Yeah, like literally, as it happened in the theater, everyone around us and everybody, potentially almost everyone in the theater, had some sort of audible reaction. Everyone was like, "Oh,
yeah, no, it was awesome.
It was sweet. It was like, and then it has that like anime. It reminded me of anime, like that anime delayed explosion, because it tore through it, and you see that like glowing wreckage of the ship, and then like in a long shot, then it explodes because it's like such an amazing force. And no pun intended. And that is seriously the coolest thing I have ever seen in a Star Wars movie, and I give props to Rian Johnson for being like, I just want to dispatch this massive ship in the coolest way possible. It wasn't a boring explosion. It was like there was a character, and she died doing it. Obviously, it's like a character sacrificed themselves in the coolest way.
Oh my god! If she comes back in the next movie, I'm done. Like seriously, I'm done.
Yeah. Yeah. That
would be so frustrating.
That would be the worst.
But yeah, no, that scene was just like my favorite scene in the entire movie.
That was
so good.
Yeah, great. Like I want to see the whole movie again just to see that bit. And that in the Snoke scene, like after Snoke dies, it's a lightsaber fight, which is pretty cool.
Yeah,
it was like probably the best fight in the whole movie. It's like that entire sequence is great, and the entire lightspeed part is great. And the Yoda scene's pretty good, even though it starts really stupid.
Well, and what's cool is we finally get to see some cool action out of those red guards. I don't know what they're called.
Right, yeah. The I don't know, like Imperial Guards, something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
But yeah, the red guys.
They always looked cool, but you never really saw them do anything.
You actually see them fight, and it was cool.
It was pretty cool. They were able to take on, two Jedis, and they did a decent job for a while.
Well, yeah, that's where they're protecting Snoke, who is like sort of the emperor now.
Was.
I was actually not. So here's the thing about Snoke's death.
Rest in pieces.
I was not expecting that whatsoever. Because I was thinking like they're not going to kill off Snoke in this movie. Snoke's going to have this like climax. Because I was still thinking in terms of the original trilogy. I was like, Snoke's climactic death is going to be in the third movie. But I guess that's a way in which they're kind of defying expectations. So you were expecting them to do something different, so you kind of saw his death coming.
I figured he was gonna die.
Yeah.
Like there was nothing to him. They didn't introduce anything to him, and then all of a sudden we're in this boss room, video game terms, where like all of a sudden he's throwing Rey around with the Force, and he's like beating her up, and then they'll just like, cut to Kylo Ren
doing his Darth Vader thing,
just looking very upset.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's another scene that that mirrors the original trilogy, except it mirrors something in Episode 6 where Darth Vader kills the Emperor.
Yeah,
it was very much like that, except they do the switch. It's a bait and switch. Like, you expect him to be on the good side now because he killed Snoke, but at the end of it, you realize he's more evil than ever because he was like, I killed Snoke because I can take his place and I can like rule the galaxy now.
Yeah.
So
and you know, it's still this huge rhyming factor that they're doing throughout these movies, where now we have our Darth Vader, and he's still Darth Vader. He's still doing Vadery things.
Well, he's a little bit of a more nuanced character than Darth Vader. I appreciate that they've made him different. He's like,
sure.
Yeah.
But he doesn't... Kylo Ren is whiny Mr. Teen angsty boy. Like...
Yeah, I don't mind it, though.
I don't hate it. I just want something more.
Well, see, I think that is more. I think that is more than something like Darth Vader. I mean, Darth Vader, prequels aside, Darth Vader is a pretty one-dimensional character.
Oh, so sure.
Like, I like the fact that Kylo Ren, there's a little bit of an ambiguity to it. They didn't necessarily do it well. Like, I thought the scene with him, like, about to kill his mother by bombing the bridge was not done very well.
Nope.
But I was like, he's just a child.
He's like, I can't kill my mom.
Yeah, but it's like, you know, I think one of the reasons that like wasn't hammered home well to me is that he's never interacted with Leia on screen. True. Ever. Like, I would be surprised if those two actors have ever been on camera at the same time before. They have never interacted. We're told that she's his mother, and apparently, and I guess that implies that there's a connection, but it's like, I just don't, we don't see it. We don't see their interactions at all, because they don't interact at all.
Okay, so let's talk about, who do you think should have died in this movie?
Okay, here's the thing. I think the intention was to have Princess Leia in all three.
I agree.
I think the intention was not to kill her in this movie, and she didn't die in this movie.
Nope.
And some people are saying they should have rewrote it so that she died. I personally disagree, because I think if the intention was not to do that, it would have felt really forced.
You know what? I agree. But
yeah,
that doesn't forgive the fact that the writing in this movie with Princess Leia was so bad that I think she should have died anyway.
Yeah.
Whether or not her real-life actor, Carrie Fisher, died, I think that Princess Leia should have died in this movie.
Mm.
Like it has nothing to do with the actor dying. Like, I don't care about that in the realm of talking about this movie.
Yeah.
Like, if they wanted her in the third one, sure, but then they should have wrote her better.
Yeah.
Because it would have worked. It would have worked really well to have her just be dead.
Yeah.
Because she doesn't do anything else in this movie.
In that scene where she gets blasted out into space.
Yeah,
like
that would have been would have been decent.
Yeah.
I would have been like, oh my god, Princess Leia is dead.
Yeah.
Like, this is something
Luke
that
dies
changes.
later on, and it's like at the end of it, you're like, they're all gone.
Yes.
What are we gonna do for this last movie in the series? Because like now the new cast has to sustain it, because all the original cast are dead now. Admiral Akbar's dead now. I mean, he's not a major character, but he did die.
Luke dying is an interesting thing, because you just kind of brushed on it, but let's talk about it.
Yeah.
So there's this kind of final
Luke's
thing.
death mirrors Obi-Wan's death.
It does.
Yeah.
But it comes down to this final showdown with him and Kylo Ren, and he walks out of the bunker, and he's like, hey, and then they shoot him with lasers, and then he's like, hey, I'm still here. Yeah. And then Kylo Ren comes down, and they fight.
Yeah.
by fight, I mean he dodges everything Kylo Ren even tries to throw at him.
And there's this weird Matrix shot. It was kind of a cool fight, but the Matrix shot just like I slapped my hand on my face because I was like, oh, why did they do that? They did that really cliched, like he bends backwards to avoid the lightsaber. I was like, oh man.
I actually think that scene was a little justified. Due to the fact that they already showed how he was dodging things back on the island, he used the Force to hold himself up. So I thought, okay, that makes sense. I don't like it, but it makes sense.
The fact that he was nimble and avoiding the lightsaber hits, that was fine, because as they reveal, he was a hologram, so he can't fight.
Yes.
But just the Matrix shot. Like, it was clearly a Matrix shot, right?
No,
I wish they would have shot that a little differently.
Yeah.
A slow motion shot of him dodging a lightsaber, fine. But, like, the literal, like, slide under it Matrix style, that was stupid. I didn't like that. Because it was super cliched and it took me out of the moment.
Well, and it was kind of interesting. You know, he's all, you know, his beard was cleaned up a bit, his hair was trimmed down, and he's like looking good finally, and you're like, oh, Luke's back, he's doing cool things, he's this dude, he's gonna go fight Kylo Ren, and then he slices him in half and it doesn't do anything.
Yeah,
it's like, oh okay.
When he sliced through him, like, I guess we were supposed to expect that when Kylo like looked back, he was like the two halves of him were gonna fall over like Snoke. But as he sliced through him, I was like, oh, he's a hologram, isn't he? Like, even before the reveal happened, I was like, this makes sense, because he's a Force ghost, I guess, a Force projection, because the shots didn't kill him, and this would explain it. So, and then I was like, okay, and then I was like, okay, sure, he was just a distraction.
And then he pokes him, he's like, you're not here, and he's like, haha, and then he disappears.
Yeah.
And then we get one of my least favorite shots, actually. It's just a personal thing of Luke sitting on his little temple thing, cross-legged, doing his little pose, and then all of a sudden he's like, ugh! And he falls back, and he's like, that was a lot of work.
Yeah.
And then he sits up.
Yep.
And he disappears.
Yes, like Obi-Wan.
Now, I hate that.
Yeah.
I hated that. I don't know what it was, whether just the way they shot it was garbage to me.
Yeah.
But like him falling backwards, like this huge showing of weakness right before he dies is something I didn't want to see Luke as when he died. I don't know when
you wanted
where
his
he would have
death
died.
to be very dignified,
and
in a sense,
technically
it was kind of dignified, but it's just
but it didn't feel like it.
Yeah, I suppose.
Chris wanted him to die with the lasers.
Yeah, Chris. See, here's what I don't get about Chris's opinion on that. Right? He hates that they didn't do any justice or respect to the original Star Wars movie, which he's not wrong about.
Yeah,
but like, well, he's not entirely wrong.
Entirely, yes.
Like there, I disagree with him in some senses. I think there are certain scenes where it's like very much respectful to the Star Wars name, but not most of the movie.
Yeah.
But anyway, what he says is he wanted Luke to have this. It's sort of a paradox in Chris's mind. I don't get like why he can think these two things, because he was like, well, he thinks they were disrespecting the original Star Wars name, and like they're like making jokes with characters, and I think that's stupid. But he wanted Luke to have this really unceremonious death. He wanted him to just get blown apart by
lasers.
AT-ATs. And it's like, would that be respectful to the source material? Just like give Luke this really like throwaway, almost a punchline
like
of a death.
He walks out and you're like, oh my gosh, Luke is here.
Yeah,
that's crazy. How'd he get here? And then he gets obliterated by lasers.
Yeah, like
that would be stupid.
Chris wanted that. Chris preferred that to his like actual like noble like Jedi death.
And I don't agree with that.
And I was like, I don't get why. Where do those two ideas exist in the same universe? I don't. Wow.
Now I don't know how I would have wanted him to die. Like, I don't really want Kylo Ren to kill him.
Yeah.
But, like, that would have been a cool thing.
And ultimately he just died because
he exerted himself too much.
Yeah, I guess. It's not really explained.
No.
He's just like, he used all of his energy and he's just like, I'm done. And he just disappears.
Yep. And I think that's kind of dumb.
Yeah.
But you know, that last shot of him just like sprawled out on the altar that he has set up for himself. Just this huge showing of like weakness. I think it would have been much better to do like a front-facing one where he's sitting there meditating, and then all of a sudden he just like looks down and then he disappears. Like that would have been so much more.
It would have felt more Star Wars.
Very stoic. Very
yes.
just like okay.
Yeah, right.
Instead of like, oh my God, is he okay? And then he's like, no, he's fine. He's sitting up, and then he's dead.
Yeah, I agree. That was shot kind of weird. I was like, oh wow, he's like really hurt, and then he like sits up and he starts meditating. I'm like, okay, he's fine, and then he disappears. I'm like, okay, maybe he's not.
Like there was just way better ways of doing it.
Yeah,
I
agree.
It was dumb.
That was done very poorly. But again, there's a lot of things in the movie that are just stupid.
Yeah,
like I ultimately I like it more than The Force Awakens because, like I said, there are things that are better, and it took more risks, I think, but it's just. Yeah, it's also, I can't give it a super positive rating because it was just so stupid.
Okay, so, in the context of this movie alone, I wanted Finn to die.
I would have made... And it's like every... Yeah, no, there's the Leia... There's a lot of major deaths that are like... They're like foreshadowed.
We're gonna kill him.
They're like,
we're gonna kill him.
Go out, and then there's a fake out. Like Leia.
So many times.
It's like Leia's dead, and then she's not. And then Luke, it's like Luke's dead, and then he's not, and then he is again. And then Finn is going on a suicide mission. Everybody else has fallen back, but he's like, I'm going to destroy this big laser thing that's going to kill all of us if it kills me. And then there's like that scene where it's like, it's kind of a cool scene, actually, where, like, the laser beam's heating up and it's, like, melting his ship as he's flying towards it.
Yeah, that's really cool.
And I was like, that was awesome. He's going to go out in this crazy blaze of glory. Mm-hmm. He's going to blow up the whole thing. And then Asian girl, like, knocks him out of the path of the thing, just really unceremoniously, just, like, runs into him with her ship.
I saved you, dummy.
Yeah. Like, and then they kiss, and then she dies. Okay. And then she isn't dead later, so it's another fake out.
Yeah, it's
like
stressful.
Every character death is a complete fake out, except for Snoke. Snoke, the character that like people wanted to know more about. People were like, I want to know what Snoke's all about. I want to see him reach his full potential. And it's like, obviously they're not going to kill Snoke in this movie because they need to explain him better. And then he just dies. So it's like everything death related was a complete fake out in this movie. And it's just Rian Johnson being like,
it irritated me.
And look, see, here's the deal. I want to say if Chris is listening to this, he's going to be like, that hypocrite. He was defending this. Here's what I'm going to say. Him saying, like laughing at the fans and being like, you think you know what's going on? You don't. That's like, that's fine. Actually, I kind of applaud that because he's like, I don't want the fans to think they know this story. I want to surprise people. I want to do unexpected things. That's fine, but if every major death scene in the universe is just a complete fake out, like then it gets a little old, you know.
I mean, it's going to be the same thing with Phasma. When she comes back in the third one, it's like, oh, faked you out for the second time with Phasma.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I kind of figured Phasma would be back. Like, when I saw her in the first teaser trailer, I was, like, not surprised, because I was like, there's no way that she's dead, because they would have, like, established that she was dead,
but I mean,
they didn't.
We can still count that as a fake out, though.
Yeah, I suppose.
Sure.
Because it kind of seemed like she wouldn't be back, and then she was back, but...
Yeah, and in this one, it's like she fell into a pit of fire. Therefore, she should be dead. She ain't gonna be. If she is, you can count me surprised.
She's gonna come back, and she's gonna be all, like, burned.
Oh, good.
Like, it'll be her final form.
Good.
Yeah.
She's gonna be Darth Vader.
Yeah.
She's gonna merge with Kylo Ren and just make Darth Vader.
Yep.
Good.
So, yeah, I think you're probably right about her coming back.
But as far as Finn goes, like, I wish he would have died in the context of this movie. I really like him as a character, though.
Yeah, no,
like, don't get me wrong. It's not that I just want him to die because I don't like him. No, I liked him.
I think I agree with you. Like, I think him dying would have been better than what they did.
But in the third movie, they may have plans for him that make up for all of it, so who knows? But in the context of this movie and this movie alone, I think he should have died.
Yeah, I agree with you there.
Who else did we have?
I was actually gonna say, what are they gonna do for the third movie with Leia?
With Leia?
Because they respected Ryan's vision by not killing her off in this movie. However, the issue comes of she's not going to be in the third movie because she can't be unless they want to.
I'm guessing CGI.
But that would be so stupid, though.
I mean, they've done it before. Hunger Games did it.
If they do that, no. Here's the thing. They did it with Grand Moff Tarkin in Rogue One, and I hated it then. Like I hated Grand Moff Tarkin. Like I hated the fact that CGI Grand Moff Tarkin's a thing. It had to happen in a sense because like that actor's dead and Grand Moff Tarkin's like an integral part of that story. But like I hated it. Yeah. So if they do that with Leia, like an even more integral thing, I'm not going to be happy about it. So that's why I'm saying, and I think a lot of fans will hate it too. So that's why I'm saying they can't do that. I mean, they have to know everybody's going to hate it if they do it, right? Like they're Disney. Man. They play it safe. They're not gonna.
I don't know, man. They did it in Hunger Games with that one guy. I always forget his name.
I never watched the Hunger Games.
I didn't watch the last two.
Well, they did it with Brendan Lee too, but in The Crow. But
yeah,
at least that it was like not really noticeable because it was like he had shot most of the scenes.
Yeah, but yeah, no. I mean, it's been done before and. As far as I know, like, it hasn't always been totally a bomb. Like, as far as I know.
I don't know what the general's reaction to Grand Moff Tarkin was. I know, when I say general, I mean the general public's reaction to Grand Moff Tarkin was. I know I hated it. And ironically enough, there was CG Leia in that too. But, like, that was just a little cameo. It wasn't, like, you know.
Yeah.
What did you think of Grand Moff Tarkin in Rogue One?
First of all, I didn't know enough about the characters to realize that, this was a guy that's already dead. Just because I don't follow Star Wars that closely, typically.
Yeah.
So I probably didn't even focus on it and realize he was CGI.
You didn't realize he was CGI? Even though he looked like a video game character?
I mean, if I look again, you're probably right. But
No, he was CGI. I know that for a fact. And it was
you're probably right that he looks terrible, is what I'm saying.
He's very... yeah.
But no, like, I didn't care or focus enough on it in Rogue One.
Fair enough. But Rogue One just wasn't a very good movie, so...
So yeah, that wasn't the source of my problems with that movie. But
and that's actually Chris's favorite Star Wars movie. It's Rogue One.
Star Wars movie, not movie. No, Star Wars movie.
No, that's Chris's favorite Star Wars movie of this new series.
Yeah,
and it's like I guess I could see it because it has a lot of fan service, and he seems to be into that. But
yeah,
is this? I don't want this to turn. I don't want this to turn into the roast Chris episode. Roast Chris.
It is interesting though that he says that. This movie was his favorite movie, his least favorite Star Wars movie. So he likes Rogue One better as a Star Wars movie, but dislikes it more as in a typical movie. But he hated this movie more than Rogue One as far as a Star Wars movie goes. But he likes it more as a movie as far as movies go.
Cannot forgive the fact that it's a different... Right.
That it's not a Star Wars movie.
It's not a Star Wars movie, quote unquote.
Yeah. So it's an interesting little box he's put himself in.
Why can't he just? Anyway, like I said, let's not make this the roast Chris episode.
I like how you started that though.
Why can't he just pull his head out of his ass and like this movie that I like?
Why can't he just be me? Why? I don't get it.
No, I completely
I understand.
He has a different opinion than mine, but I respect it. If you love Star Wars, this movie can feel like a betrayal.
Yeah, because it honestly
can.
Does throw a lot of things under the bus that Star Wars wouldn't have. It has like we said, we came to the conclusion halfway through the movie. I guess Star Wars is a comedy now.
Yeah, no, it's a straight up comedy now. It's not. It's like the jokes in this movie are less comedic relief, and it's more like there's just
jokes.
There's just comedy. It's just a comedy now. It's an action comedy. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, whether you like it or not, it's what it is.
And okay, here's the thing. There's jokes in Star Wars, the original trilogy. I feel like that's one thing Chris was a little too bent out of shape about, because there are scenes in Star Wars that are very slapstick. Like the scene where Han inadvertently kills Boba. Literally, Chewie's says something, and then Han's like, "Boba, where?" And he spins around and knocks Boba's jetpack with his stick, and it blows up, and Boba's like, "Whoa!" It was right out of a cartoon. It's
definitely
humor in Star Wars is not a new concept. So I think the fact that this movie's so humorous shouldn't get people that bent out of shape, because I think they're not remembering that Star Wars was also pretty funny. The scene where Han is chasing the stormtroopers down the hall, and then he goes around the corner and there's 80 stormtroopers, and he runs away. It's it's very slapstick. It's very comedy. It's very, very, cartoony.
It is. I agree. Yeah, it's something you have to kind of keep in mind. Is that it? Have we hit a wall?
Yeah, I mean, that's really all, the spoiler stuff we really wanted to discuss.
I really liked...
there's the Hoth segment that isn't the Hoth segment.
Oh, yeah.
There's even that line where the guy, eats he licks the ground. I don't know why he did that. He just, puts his finger on the ground and he licks it, and he's like, salt. And I actually read a post on Reddit that made it, really hilarious. It's can we all just spare a thought for that guy who was in the new Star Wars movie and his only line was salt?
Oh my gosh, yeah. That's pretty good.
Imagine being in a Star Wars movie and it's your line is salt.
Salt.
And this was just the only time you're gonna.
I wonder how much effort he put into that one line. How should I say it? How should my inflection be?
He rehearsed for weeks.
Salt, salt.
He put in
salt.
I want the deleted scenes in that movie to have all 50 takes they did of that scene. Of him just saying salt.
Just so many takes of him being salt, salt, salt.
Yeah, very much. Yeah. But yeah, no, that was that was the scene where it's clearly supposed to be the Hoth scene, but that's just different. No.
Yeah.
It was fine. I didn't mind that one as much.
I really liked a lot of the practical effects on the island that Luke was at.
Yeah, no, it was...
those were really
neat. That's a
neat.
real island off the coast of Ireland.
Yeah, that was really cool. I thought... I haven't done any research on it, and I really plan on it. But Porgs, I think that they were part CGI and part puppet.
I think you're wrong about that.
Really?
Because we'll have to look it up and find out.
Because I don't know, there was...
Because every time I saw them, I didn't get the sense that they were practical. I got the sense they were CG.
I don't know. There was just some movements that felt very real to me, and I mean, it could just be the advancement in CGI. It very well could be.
Maybe maybe if it is all CG, maybe they intended to make it look like a puppet, because that's all the creatures in Star Wars look like puppets.
It's true.
So
but I really hope that that they are part of each, because obviously they can't all be strictly puppets. I don't think that would work well.
No, yeah. So we'll have to look that up and see if you're right about that, because I honestly don't know. I wasn't paying attention to the Korgs or the Porg, whatever they're called, because every time they're on screen, I was trying not to pay attention to them.
Well, see, everything that was on screen, I'm a huge practical effect guy. I love practical effects. I think practical effects are...
Which is why you're probably pretty stoked about Yoda. I mean,
yes,
dude,
the
Return of Puppet Yoda is very good.
When they brought Yoda in, I'm just like, Yoda?
Yeah.
Yoda's a puppet? I was pumped. And then at the end, they're just like, Frank Oz is Yoda. I'm like, hell yeah, Frank Oz is Yoda.
Yeah, it was pretty obvious Frank Oz was Yoda in the movie. I was like, wow,
so
they
good.
got Frank Oz for this.
I was so happy.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And that's actually one scene where, like, for all the talk of this movie, like, really annoying fans, that's one scene where I felt it was pretty fan servicey, because it's like, they could have easily just done CG Yoda, because there's a lot of CG stuff in this.
Yeah, there is.
But they did puppet Yoda just to, like, have the callback to the old movies, and I appreciated that, because, like, I realized as I was seeing Yoda, I was like, I appreciate the fact that they used puppet Yoda so much, because CG Yoda in the prequels was really bad.
Yep. Can we talk about that one scene where Luke goes up to one of those monster alien things, pushes on its teat, and it shoots the blue milk?
Yeah, and he just
drinks it and looks at Rey.
That was weird.
And he just has a milk mustache on his mustache as he stares at Rey, and he's just like, yes.
And then the creature looks at Rey too.
Yeah.
And she's like so uncomfortable that she has to look away.
She's like, I don't get it.
That's the other scene where I thought I was hallucinating when it was happening, because I was like, what is going on right now?
Oh my god.
This is so bizarre.
Well, and I think that the alien thing that he pushed on, I think part of it was practical effects as well.
Yeah, that one looked like a blend of practical and CG.
Yeah.
Like the actual, like, teat part that Luke manipulated.
Yeah.
That looked pretty practical.
Oh my god, it was so funny.
Yeah.
Or the practical effect when she went down in that dungeon, looked in the mirror, and then all of a sudden there's multiples of her that were real.
Well, that pushes the idea of the word practical.
Oh,
that was
100% practical.
That was done with a computer.
No.
Was it not? That was done with a computer.
No,
I
man.
happen to know it was.
No, there's just a line of Rey.
Yeah, that's true.
No,
they just got a bunch of body doubles. And they all had to be perfectly in sync.
I would have loved that.
Oh, actually, though, that scene, even though it was a ripoff of the cave scene in Empire, that scene was cool.
It was
from
cool.
From a really surreal effect standpoint, it was kind of neat.
Yeah.
As a Star Wars fan, I was like, no, okay, I've seen this before. But as a, like, movie fan, I was like, that's cool. Yeah. And again, I want to reiterate, that's my thought about the entire movie. Like, the entire movie, even the dumb stuff, I was like, this is... I mean, it's fun. The Phasma fight is like this really cheesy action sequence, and it's fun.
That lasts for like 2 minutes.
Yeah. But no, it's just like...
she's just gone.
So that's my closing thoughts on it. It's just like, as a Star Wars fan... Oh, actually, let's bring it out of spoiler talk so we can have a conclusion to post back. I'm going to be doing a lot of editing.
Yeah, no, we'll wrap it up here.